Okay, so today is day 16, the second last day of the campaign. And Shane, how do you feel about the second last day?
Everything's been going so good so far. Seems like everything's coming together. George has been a real trooper. He's been going through all of his injuries, keeps going out. I'm really proud of him.
And we're all behind you on this documentary that you're going to put together as well.
Perfect.
Alrighty. Take care.
Raises awareness for the disease. It also raises funds for research and also helps to send kids to camp. Now this camp that they send kids to is called Camp Jamoki. Camp Jamoki is a special camp specializing in anybody with sickle cell disease, any youth with sickle cell disease, because at the camp they have medical staff on site ready to deal with anyone who goes into crisis. So I just want to say on behalf of the Toronto Police Service, I would like to thank everyone here involved, and especially Westview Centennial Secondary School for your help, both by being here and in spirit. Thank you very much. And thank you. I'd like to call on Mr. McCauley, I think is next. Thank you, sir.
Good morning, boys and girls. And again, on behalf of those of us working in the community with sickle cell, I'd like to say a big thanks to you. Sickle cell. My dream now is for people like you who will be able to take it upon themselves to do the kind of things you are doing now. We are almost there. For sickle cell to be truly addressed, we need awareness. And the awareness starts from each individual. With me here, I have some other members who are working in the community to promote sickle cell awareness. So I would like to bring her, as she had our officer said, we spoke about our Camp Juboke, which is a camp for kids with sickle cell disease. So I have the president here. Again, she has only 1 minute because we are running out of time to say a word or two. Because I want to thank you there. Yvonne.
Good morning, everyone. I just wanted to briefly go over what Camp Jamoki does. Like the officer mentioned, he really touched on what we do for the children, and that we do allow them the ability to go to camp. Otherwise, they wouldn't be able to go. Because the doctors and the nurses from St. Kitts Hospital actually go to the camp with the children, we are able to provide them with a recreational camp experience they would normally be able to have. So having said that, Camp Jamoki is a completely volunteer-driven program and organization. We do encourage, all of you guys to help out. Last year we implemented the Camp Jamoki volunteer program, so students like yourselves, you guys can get your volunteer hours if you going to school. Doing certain different things, but we would really encourage everyone's involvement to kind of get involved. We do have a lot of various fundraising initiatives throughout the year. We do have bowl-a-thons, walk-a-thons, a couple of other events to really help us fund actually sending the kids to camp, because we do rely on private funding. We don't get any sort of government funding to be able to carry out our mandate and our initiatives for the kids. So we do encourage all of your support, and if anyone is interested, you can take a brochure and get a hold of us, and we'd really love to have everyone get involved. Thank you.
That is Camp Juboke. Another group that's been working with 13 Division Student Support Group is SCAGO. And at this time, I'd like to call on Lanre Tunji Ajayi to say a word or two about what they do in the community regarding that. Mr. Ajayi.
With me today is Lene Hyde, who is the coordinator for the youth, like that sounds. Okay, but those that have sickle cell disease and young people. So I'm calling Lene to come to.
Hello, everybody. I just want to say one thing. After all these sort of speakers that we've had and come up that have talked about the bill, that have talked about the wonderful organizations like the 13th Division and Sickle and Camp Tanoki, which I've all received support and help from, one important thing that all of you guys should realize is sickle cell is one of the most preventable diseases. It's a genetic disease that has to come from both parents. So one of the easiest things to do to prevent sickle cell, to prevent the child from being born and having to go through all these pain crises and organ problems and hospital visits and needles, is just finding out if you have the trait. Is to know, do you have capacity to give your child the disease? Something as simple as that little piece of knowledge that's as easy as going to your doctor and having a simple blood test done can prevent a child from having to go through what I've had to go through my entire life and will have to go through for the rest of my life. And one other thing, sickle cell is not just for one race. It's not just Black people will have it. It's not just Indian people will have it. It's not just Mediterranean people will have it. It's something that affects a great amount of the population that has nothing to do with our skin color, but has everything to do with the blood inside of us. I could be Italian right now, but the blood that goes through me is still sickle cell. So that little piece of knowledge can definitely help the next generation that will come after us. And that's something that you guys can do that will help not just me, but will help further and prevent this disease. So thank you very much for all the support you've given and for all the support you can do.
Sorry, somebody has a question?
Yes. What if the parents know that they have it, then is there something that they can do about it?
You can't do anything about having the trait, but it makes it easier for you to make informed decisions when you're at the point to have children. So you find out if you have the trait, and then your partner finds out if they have the trait. And from there, I'm not going to say if you can't or cannot or whatever, but you can make an informed, knowledgeable decision about what you do from there.
Even at that, if you have the trait and the partner has the trait, there's 1 in 4% chances that the child they will have sickle cell disease. So some people that can say, you know what? It's only 1 in 4. There's a 50% chance the child will not have the disease, and they go ahead and do that. But as Nene said,
I'm the 25% that is.
we don't make that, which is very interesting.
Yes.
Some question will ask me, what does somebody with sickle cell look like? If she has not told you, there's no way you will have known.
I look like anyone else in this room.
So the important thing I want to take away from here is this, and maybe I want to get another member to come to the stage here. We as a group make a commitment to you. Hopefully this will not be the last time you'll be hearing from us about sickle cell. We're going to work with your teachers, we're going to work with the principal to come back here again and talk about sickle cell, because we believe with knowledge, right decisions can be made. So on behalf of all of us here who are working for sickle cell, we thank you, we thank the staff for even thinking of doing this for us. It's appreciated. Again, 13th Division with PCOJ. He never says a word, but he's one and the boss. It's a lot of fun. We thank you guys, because they are the one that a lot of people let us know about it. But above also, step by step, it's worked with this school many times. We at Sickle Cell Group, we are going to be coming to work with you too. And again, we hope to have a great day. So we thank you on behalf of the community that we are serving for taking it upon yourself to do something that is worthwhile.
And I just want to take it a little bit further there to let you know that your health because of you and life is good. But many children, even 5-year-old, 4-year-old, they have stroke right now. They're blind right now. These are part of the complications of this disease. So again, this is why we thank you for what you're doing. You are helping to raise awareness. You are also educating yourself and educating the generation to come, because we know that now, according to Nene, you have to go to your doctor and check if you carry the trait. From there, you make informed decision. Is it worth it when I'm dating or when I'm about to have children, to have children with somebody else that have the trait? You have to make that decision, but at least you know. I believe having a child with sickle cell disease is a huge commitment that should not be made out of ignorance. Make informed decisions. and we can have a better, healthier, and brighter tomorrow. Yes.
What is the statistics on people living with sickle cell disease?
Well, again, in the GTA it's very multicultural, and it has the largest number of people that have sickle cell disease. Yes. We're looking at people from the Mediterranean, Middle East, Latin America, South America, Africa, Caribbean, Asia, India. They all have the tendency. And again, even the full-blown Caucasian that you typically say before, minus sickle cell disease. Now, because of intermarriage and all of these things, we are seeing that you could be blue eyes and blonde hair, you still have the trait sometimes. So this is why everybody needs to just check and rule it out. And once again, young people, try to tell your friends out there, spread the word. It's about awareness, education. And then what Kristen Duncan is fighting for, what Constable Oju has been doing all these years, where Constable Macaulay has been working all these years, can really be seen as successful when we reduce the number of children that end up being born with this disease as we go into the future. Thank you.
And we'd like to invite you all to meet us in the front of the school where the torch of light will be lit. So please join us.
Say that. No, I'm 42. Oh, I tell you again. I love it. He's not answering that. Huh?
Thank you for leaving my hat and my glove and my bag. I think that's
Hello, George. Hello, George. We're ready for you, big guy. You know where you left him off? I'm gonna put this in your phone.
He was waiting in that parking lot, the hospital parking lot. I parked the truck right there. He was asking me to like go in the parking lot and follow him out, but I can't do that. I have to tell him, you know?
Oh, Sarge, we work it out. Sergeant Gore is going to drive 4, and I will drive the truck.
Okay.
Yeah. We're just waiting for the torch to arrive.
So the torch arrives.
As soon as it arrives, he's the torch champion. He's going to hand the torch over to Sergeant Gore. And Sergeant Gore will hand it over to and then.
So we're going to get formed up then? What do you want us to
I would say the part that's going to be ahead should probably be sitting on that now. So that when we start, we follow him. And then the rest is easy. The lead guys always
I think it's YIPI. You got to get it in. I do know you got to get it in by, yeah, that's tomorrow. I don't know. I think
Oh, is it all? You'll feel some average. Look at me.
I think we should get a
Okay, thanks, guys.
I'd like you guys all to back up this way. Back up this way. That way he'll walk towards the front.
Shane, could you do in such a way that he couldn't be in the background? Eh? Yeah, he's all well. You can swivel this everything. Yeah.
You guys all ready to jump? I want to be there. Okay? 1, 2, 3, jump! Okay, he wants to do it again. 3. Okay, 1, 2, 3. He didn't jump. You guys see him jump? That was great. Thank you.
He did it for a text. That's amazing.
Yeah, as long as you guys stay back in that area, it's good.
Sergeant, go. Georgie.
Remember the camera's on this side, so we want you to come around this way now. Everybody? Come around this way. Stay behind them. You got it.
And we need the champion to take it from Sergeant Gold. Where is she? Oh, okay. Yeah. Yeah, right there.
George, hi, how are you?
So if you guys want to try to get your hand in on this court, all the better, you know? Hold it up high, and everybody reach for it. Okay. I like it. Thank you.
Alright, I'm going back inside right now.
Because I think I'm done.
We're done. What is this? It's
bonus.
Jane, by that time we'll be all settled in, right?
What are you going to do?
Okay.
So we'll go to
I'm proud to be Canadian.
Are you guys Canadian? I was born here.
Yeah.
I was.
You don't come every day like once a week.
How about the other day?
Rare. Yeah, it's very lame.
So you can raise this up so that it's out above the mirror, or take it off. So maybe just take it off, just unscrew the whole thing. Start here.
Yeah, buddy.
Stay qualified
this you might want outside.
Yeah.
You know, that you can just stay, it'll help you. You know what I'm saying? Now I'm gonna get up past this bus stop, alright? And then I'll let you out, and then I'll stay there until you come past. Sounds good?
Cool.
Torch of life being carried by Lloyd from Westview Centennial. Behind them is Ella and Aaliyah, and they're all taking part in a very important issue. We're all trying to bring sickle cell, comprehensive care for sickle cell disease.
You guys are doing a fantastic job, you know? They get fired.
Okay, now we got 5 runners. We have 2 new runners. Can I get the 2 new runners names?
Ready? Yeah, buddy. You're good, man. Want to go? No. You want to go beside the button?
Get on the sidewalk.
Oh, Leo, pass me one. Leo. That one. So you can get Oh, that's one. Yes.
The dirty part of the job.
Yep, the nitty-gritty.
How you doing, Shane? Okay?
Yep. Tired?
Yeah.
It's going.
Continue carrying it for the next Whitney.
Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious.
It's a great word. Can you spell it?
SUPERFRAGILISTICEXPIA.
Okay, stop it.
Just a spoonful of sugar.
I looked that up on Google, you know.
Ready, Shane?
Yep.
You guys are really good talk. Good?
Oh, yeah, we're just not gonna give up to like to show awareness for this disease. We're just trying to make everybody on Jane to realize what's going on around the world for the sickle cell disease, and that's basically it.
It's amazing. Running makes you feel really good when you run for a cause like this. All those very tired. Like, it makes us feel like superstars.
In a way, you get a good workout, but yeah, there's a good positive side because it's important all around the world. So not only your place, not only your neighborhood, but also everybody else.
We're from Westview.
And yeah.
Okay, guys, we're ready to go another round. Whitney Houston.
Oh, this is hot.
Okay.
carrying the torch. MPP Michael. Okay, we got it. Mike Cole now. We're ready to go.
And then you're going to have to run ahead of them, okay? I'm not doing
MPP Mike Cole carrying the torch of life along with students from Westview Centennial up to Cannon Pitch.
Torch of life for sickle cell disease.
From here? Down the first street left.
MPP, Mike Cole, carrying the torch of life. Bringing awareness for sickle cell disease.
I guess they're getting paid for this thing, aren't they?
Let him come.
All the way from Cannon Pitch, they ran down.
Yeah, let him stay there so we can get the logo.
Deputy Chief Peter Swally, can you please receive orders to receive the torch of life?
Council, why don't we proceed forward again? We've been ordered.
And we also have acting mayor, Francis Nunciata.
Everybody look lively.
Lower it a little, please. Lower it a little. Yeah, that's nice.
All the way from Cannon Pitch. You're not even breathing hard. Come on, Daddy.
Dr. Conley, can you please join in the ceremony here?
Right in here? Okay.
There we go. Get in close. Give him a hug. Come here.
Bring it on.
Some regular people.
We are regular.
I mean regular. Sickle cell.
Hold on, don't forget. After that, everybody come and
Come on, regular people. Everybody join us here. Kids want regular people.
Okay, can everybody proceed to the Tree of Life? Reverend Walter Kelly is going to do a prayer at the Tree of Life. Can we all proceed there now?
Everybody say sickle cell.
Sickle cell.
All right, Tree of Life is just over there.
Over to the tree.
Yes, I do.
Oh, sorry.
That's okay. That's okay.
Yeah, that's good.
Okay.
Everybody. Feel the heat. Feel the warmth. Appreciate it. Hot, hot, hot. Hot, hot, hot. We gotta heat this up.
Come on, Ocho, you gotta get in that picture.
Ocho, get here. Take that hat off. We can't recognize it.
Appreciate it.
Okay. Thanks for coming. I told someone I have an hour and a half speech. It's a warm day today. It's a warm day, okay. It's an honor for me to say a word and then offer a prayer. This is the tree. Tree of life. We'll get all around it. Should you be aiming this way? I sure will. I can?
Hey, come on, don't be shy.
But I sort of speak everywhere. Yeah. Where is he? When you look at this tree, it appears to be dead, but it's not. And in fact, in the springtime, new life will push those old, dry, old, whatever they are, out. And this tree's planted in honor of those who give. And so even though we die, we die sometime, make sure you register those organs and parts of our bodies can be used to give life. This particular organization is representing some people that are experiencing and go through very, very tough times. And it's appropriate that we remember them and we think of them. In fact, I want to know, is Tammy Cutler here? Yep. Here's Tammy. Tammy's son, 2 years ago, died as a result of his death. But through her son Christopher's donation, other families were able to experience good things. We're sorry for your loss. We're glad you're here. And in your time of tragedy and great loss, some comfort must be yours. You know that other families are thankful. So we give thanks. Dear Heavenly Father, I thank you for who you are. We thank you that you're the God of creation and that you're the God of the seasons. And through difficult times and rough times, even in the natural world, through the seasons, we know that you're there. And we're glad, oh God, that you are with us through the seasons of our lives. And some of those seasons are very painful and very, very difficult. And at times end in tragedy, at times end in death. And so, Father, I thank you that you're with us at all times. And for this particular organization, Lord, they're doing a wonderful thing. I thank you for this hospital that provides special care. And I pray, oh God, for the technicians and the students, the doctors, and all who are doing research, that you would give them your help and your wisdom to find new results in this terrible disease. Lord, for those who are suffering right now, we pray that by your Spirit you would comfort them. For those who have gone through the valley of death, and through that death experience have offered life and help to others. We give you thanks for those. And now, God, for each person who is here, I thank you for each one, and I thank you that you give us opportunities to honor you in life and in death. Bless us, we pray, for it's in your name. Amen. And I have something for all of you. I don't know how much time do you have? I have a little coin, which I like to give you a handful and pass them on. Take one and pass them on. It's a reminder that God loves you and that you can pray anytime. Okay? And even the media folks need the blessing of God. And we thank you that you're here. Okay? Take one and pass them on. Is everybody got one? And if you sneak two, that's okay. Did you get one?
These are the three people who are up in front. Took a picture of it.
Everybody get one? Not yet?
You guys don't want this? No, I'm okay. Hey, on the left. Do I know
you folks get one?
No, I'm okay, thank
That's
you.
Mike Coley, that's Peter Slowly,
Thanks.
That's Francis Nunziata. This one here, I don't know.
Francis Nunziata in the middle. And who do we got?
Is this one? I don't know. That's Deputy Chief Peter Slowly.
Everybody get a call?
Yes, it is. Thank you.
Okay?
Okay. Can you give it all three names? Just left, center, right? Oh, for Christ's sake. Can you tell us it is my official first day with this camera? On the left is
Then Peter Slowly, Deputy Chief.
Peter Slowly, Deputy Chief. Francis Nunziata, and on the far right,
Mike Coley.
Mike Coley.
C-O-L-L-E.
C-O-L-L-E.
A generation ago, sickle cell disease was a pediatric condition.
My name is Tammy.
And we're here to celebrate the expansion and opening of the doors of the sickle cell program here at the Toronto General Hospital. A sign of the success of the medical community in treating sickle cell disease so that life expectancy continues to be longer, quality of life continues to get better. And to celebrate the strength of the sickle cell community, which tends to itself, cares for the needy and those who are suffering, and advocates. So hopefully, with the passage of recent legislation recognizing sickle cell disease as the most common clinically significant genetic disease in the world, and a rapidly growing disease in terms of prevalence in Canada, we will continue to see the expansion of this program and the creation of similar comprehensive care programs for sickle cell disease, particularly for adults, throughout the Greater Toronto area, throughout Ontario, and throughout the country. Thanks again to everyone for coming and being part of this celebration today.
Thank you, Doctor, and thank you, Toronto General Hospital.
What did you just say and spell your name?
Jacob Pendergrast.
Reverend.
Well, we really try to provide comprehensive care.
Okay, thank you.
Models, something about 60 so that means, in addition to educating the patients on how to best maintain their own health, how to recognize warning signs, complications of sickle cell disease that need a kind of attention. We also provide preventative health maintenance to make sure that their eyes are in good shape, blindness is a common complication of sickle cell disease, to make sure that we're keeping an eye on skin breakdown, on bony changes or arthritis that can develop, and doing what we can to modify the disease, of course, medications like hydroxyurea and the judicious use of legislation. So we have a program now. We have 3 physicians working there on monitoring. We have a fellow who's come to join us now. We have 2 advanced practice nurses, social worker, and then the clinic nurses who provide day-to-day care for patients. So I think things are looking up.
And we're living longer too.
Because of the tension
yes. Well, I'll be 15 April. So
When did you first detect it?
when I was 11 years old, sick kids diagnosed me with sickle cell.
So therefore now they can go right from sick kids right in here to the adults.
That's always been the goal. Yeah. Finally get there.
And I've struggled all these years without any help. I live out in the suburbs, so I always have to
Yeah, it's a disease not that many people talk about. Yeah, that's,
it's in the shadows.
Yeah,
it's incredibly common. Common.
You said at the beginning it's one of the most common.
The most common.
Of all which diseases?
All the genetic diseases, all the inheritable diseases in the world.
It's really one of the most common. Yeah, I've been working on some legislation because what they do is they discriminate against people with pre-genetic dispositions. And so I would talk to people from there's an organization that's trying to pass legislation federally and hope to amend the Human Rights Code so they can't discriminate because of this predisposed condition.
I'll tell you a story about one of my patients.
I have everyone's attention, please. George Machado. Oh, yeah, we need the mayor and deputy chief and Dr. Kobe to take the torch from MPP Michael so we can start on to Queen's Park.
Okay.
So if you light it up and give it back to MPP Michael and Dr. Kobe, deputy chief and mayor will take it to Queen's Park with MPP Michael.
Acting mayor. Are you acting?
Actually, ma'am, may I remind you of something?
You were the mayor.
I used to be mayor. The first certificate I got was from Mayor Nunciado.
That's right, don't forget that.
Did you want Dr. Kirby? Dr. Kirby, deputy chief, and mayor.
Acting mayor, yeah.
Acting mayor Nunciado.
Okay, so okay, I'll give it to you, Francis.
Yeah, and we're going to all jump into our cars.
Do you want me to hang on to that? So the three and then yourself.
Actually, you want somebody to carry that?
So how are we going up? You're going to walk up, or
yeah, we're going to walk
up this way, or
okay?
Ojo, which way do you want them to go? Okay, so we need the lead car for them to get behind.
Inside, the brake is going to be in the beautiful. Justin Bieber, we got to Never say never, that's their slogan. That's nervous. Okay, George, can we go up?
You lead them in. So whereabouts?
Yeah, oh yeah. We go right inside and then we go make it. Yeah, okay, so we'll go up here, folks, up the sidewalk. I have to put the... Ready when you are, Mike. Okay, Joe. We're just waiting for PCO Joe here to come in. It's here. Anyways, good afternoon. I'm MPP Mike Cole from the riding of Eglinton Lawrence. I'm honored to be here today with a very critically important cause, and is sickle cell disease awareness. And we're here with the Torch of Life that we had this incredible 17-day journey by George Marcello, who brought it from Ottawa to here in 17 days. George is here with us. He's in the background, but he'll hopefully be available. And also we've got in a phenomenal group of students that came here all the way from Jane and Finch, from Westview Collegiate, I think, right? And they ran from this morning from Jane and Finch all the way down to Queen's Park and Toronto General Hospital, the Torch of Life, and to basically just spread the word of how important it is to make people aware of this most common of the genetic diseases that we were told by Dr. Prendergast at Toronto General Hospital. The most common, and he said it's a disease that's in the shadows. And so hopefully today, by all of us being here, we'll bring it out of the shadows and get more attention, resources paid to this critically debilitating disease that affects people for their whole life. And so I'm here today with some very special guests, and hopefully they can introduce themselves better than I can, but they're here to support sickle cell disease awareness. To my left is the acting mayor, Councillor Francis Nunziata. And Francis, if you just introduce yourself, then I'll introduce everybody else, and then you can make your presentation.
Okay, my name is Francis Nunziata, Council Speaker and City Councillor for Ward 11, York Southwestern.
Thank you, Francis. To my right is Doctor, who's an expert in this area. You can introduce yourself, Doctor.
My name is Isaac Odame. I'm a hematologist at Toronto Sickles Hospital.
Thank you, Doctor. And from 13 Division, Inspector Holt, if you could introduce yourself.
That's who I am. I'm Inspector Glenn Holt from 13 Division. We've had a long relationship with this organization.
Yes, and thank you so much, Inspector. And certainly the Toronto Police Services have been an incredible energizer for the sickle cell awareness. They've done incredible work over the years. Deputy Chief Peter Slowly is here, and another great champion of awareness of sickle cell, and he's here representing Toronto's finest, who've been, again, the front lines with all the volunteers dealing with this debilitating disease. So what I'll do is hand it over to Francis Nunziata, the councillor and Speaker of the City Hall, who's going to make a short presentation on behalf of Mayor Ford, and then she's going to have to leave because she's got to get down to run City Hall for us.
Right.
Councillor Nunziata?
Thank you, Mike, and good afternoon to everyone. I am here on behalf of His Worship Rob Ford, Mayor of Toronto, to lend our support to the Sickle Cell Torch of Life Run. This inspiring campaign has been traveling from Ottawa to raise awareness and support for those affected by sickle cell disease. Ontario is home to over 75% of Canadians living with this disease, the majority of them here in Toronto. The dedicated people at Torch of Life are doing their best to raise support, awareness, and care for those afflicted with the disease. I'm also inspired by the hard work of the researchers, doctors, and nurses at Toronto General Hospital, who are the only facility in the province providing adult comprehensive care for these conditions. I carry this torch to encourage all Torontonians to support this worthy cause. And I thank everyone who has walked with and carried the Torch of Life. My special thanks to event organizers, Step by Step, who were recruited by the Sickle Cell Foundation of Canada, Eglinton Community Support Group, to help bring more visibility to this issue. I find your commitment to and support this cause very inspiring. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Nunziata. And I think on behalf of everybody here, we'd like to thank, through you, Mayor Ford, for giving his support. He couldn't be here today, but he certainly is another champion of fighting for sickle cell disease awareness. So please pass on that thanks to the Mayor on everybody's behalf.
Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor. Okay, to my right, Doctor, if you could please proceed. Thank you, Doctor.
Thank you very much. I'm here to speak about sickle cell disease and thalassemia. And in this regard, I want to bring your attention to a private member's bill that was in Parliament held on December the 13th by Honorable MP Kirsty Duncan, MP for Etobicoke. This bill is described as a national strategy for sickle cell disease and thalassemic disorders. Sickle cell disease is an inherited abnormality of blood that makes the hemoglobin, which is the protein in blood, makes it abnormal and makes the hemoglobin form gels when the oxygen tension is low. Although it's a blood abnormality, the truth is that it affects virtually every organ because the sickle cells latch on to the blood vessels, destroy the blood vessels which supply various organs. So although it's an inherited blood disorder, its manifestations are systemic. It's a chronic, lifelong, multiple organ disease. Thalassemia is an inherited disorder in which the body is unable to produce normal blood. Consequently, patients born with thalassemia need blood transfusions all their lives. So every month, a patient with severe thalassemia will need blood transfusion. Without that, they will not survive. So these are inherited, lifelong conditions that require a proper strategy to manage. Fortunately for us, 5 years ago, in this very room, we advocated that newborn screening for sickle cell disease should be done. And I'm happy to say that Ontario was the first province in this country to adopt universal newborn screening for sickle cell disease. Lately, British Columbia has followed. But frankly, this should be a national program. Every province in this country should screen children when they are born for sickle cell disease, because when they are diagnosed early and preventive strategies are put in place, we can reduce early mortality and reduce devastating effects early in life. Sickle cell disease and thalassemic disorders are lifelong disorders that are mostly incurable. Therefore, we need a strategy that requires health maintenance of prevention and not really waiting for crisis to happen. The most common manifestation of sickle cell disease is acute excruciating pain. Sometimes it can be very excruciating to the extent that the patients are almost at the point of collapse. Because of this, these patients need very strong analgesics, including morphine. Sadly enough, even caregivers, doctors and nurses that practice in this country are not so much aware of this disease, in that when these patients go to emergency rooms complaining of debilitating pain, they are described as drug seeking. They are described as feigning their pain, just so that they can receive morphine. This is not right, and this must come to a stop. First, physicians, caregivers need to be educated about this disease. Second, our hospital systems have to realize that this disease affects people from parts of the world where 75% of new immigrants to Canada come from: Africa, Caribbeans, South America, Middle East, Asia. All around the world where immigrants come from, this disease is common. Therefore, any doctor practicing in this country should not be allowed to feign ignorance about this disease, because patients will come to their door with this disorder. The bill is calling for a national strategy. It's asking that the provincial health minister should come together at the instance of the federal minister to define a national strategy to combat this disease. Second, it calls for education among physicians, nurses, caregivers, and hospitals to raise awareness about these disorders. Third, it calls for a strategy of prevention, because really with good preventive strategies, we can actually reduce the number of children who are born with this disease, apart from the fact that we can diagnose them early and treat them to prevent complications. Fourthly, it asks for a drive to ensure that sickle cell patients who are in pain are treated appropriately, with dignity, with respect, and promptly, so that they can be relieved of their disorder. The strategy, as we have now, is fragmented and not coordinated. Because of this, sickle cell patients are dying at the prime of their life, when they can contribute to the society to which they belong. Skilled, brilliant sickle cell and thalassemia patients are dying too early to make a contribution to this country. This is wasteful. This is not the Canadian way. What this bill is asking for is that from birth to end of life, there should be a strategy of prevention so that these ones who are unfortunate to have this disease can contribute their quota towards society and bless society with their skills and their abilities. Lastly, this bill calls for the government to support advocacy groups, some of whom have been responsible for this gathering. That these advocacy groups need support, just like advocacy groups for cancer and diabetes and other chronic disorders, so that they can better advocate for themselves and partner with the provincial health strategies to really develop good programs of health maintenance for these disorders. Canada is lagging behind many other developed countries like Britain and other countries that have devised a national strategy. And this bill is asking that we do the same. So I'm here to speak in support of this bill and to say that the province of Ontario should back this bill and should ask the Health Minister of Ontario to back it when this is discussed at the federal level. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Doctor. That's a superb, comprehensive explanation of the disease and the issues. Very, very informative. Thank you so much. Inspector Holt?
Well, I must say that I'm honored to be here on this occasion, bringing greetings and support from the Toronto Police Service and 13 Division in particular. The Toronto Police Service and 13 Division has had a long-standing partnership with this organization, and I'm pleased to have a small part in bringing this important message to the community. I would like to congratulate the leaders for their inspirational vision, their commitment, and for the work they do as they follow their dream and work tirelessly to educate the members of our community on the impact of sickle cell disease and thalassemia disorders. I understand, and we all understand, that for the most part, people want to do the right thing, but it's not goodwill that's urgently needed. It's action, and it's action as articulated by the gentleman to my left, the doctor to my left. We need to find ways and come up with a national strategy to improve the circumstances of patients that are suffering from these afflictions. In particular, I'd like to extend my greetings to the remarkable youth that are in attendance, and the youth that I saw in front. It's the youth that have the ability to bring innovative ideas and dynamic perspectives to these and other challenges. Youth make up a significant proportion of our community, and it's youth that will be the decision and policy makers of tomorrow. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Inspector Holt. And just as I mentioned before, the men and women of 13 Division, I know firsthand, have been working on this awareness of sickle cell disease for the last 15, 20 years that I'm aware of. So they've been there doing incredible support work above and beyond the normal duties. So I just have to, again, pass my thanks on to the chief and everybody at 13 Division again, because, I mean, you've never got any recognition for that work you've been doing. Now, on my left is Sherman Moore, and he's a citizen of Toronto who's been victimized and who's had to live with sickle cell disease. So he's going to tell his real life story of how he's had to cope with this very debilitating disease. Sherman?
Thank you. Dr. Udami spoke very eloquently on sickle cell disease in general. I'm going to address my personal experience with sickle cell disease. And forgive me, but I'm going to read this because I want to make sure I don't forget or omit anything. A young newlywed, just turned 20 years old, gives birth to a healthy baby boy in Toronto, in a Toronto hospital. The next morning, she's found dead in her hospital bed. She died alone and probably terrified during the night. The autopsy indicated that she had sickle cell disease and died because of a severe drop in hemoglobin and associated complications due to sickling during and after the birthing process. Her doctor told the family that had they known she had sickle cell disease, a blood transfusion would likely have saved her life. Of course, this was small comfort to her devastated 3-year-old husband with a child without a mother. And it was small comfort to the young woman's mother celebrating the birth of her first grandchild one day and making funeral arrangements for her daughter the next day. That young woman was my sister. Now, this happened a long time ago and probably would not occur today, we hope. But over the last year in Toronto alone, we lost 5 young people to various complications of sickle cell disease. And I relate these incidents not to lay blame anywhere, but simply to underscore the point that the serious, life-threatening nature of this terrible disease is just as prevalent today as it was the day we lost my sister so many years ago. Now, sickle cell disease, for many of you who may not know, was first documented just over 100 years ago in 1910. Over the past century, while progress has been made in the understanding and treatment of the disease, progress in access to care for patients in crisis has been undeniably slow. For whatever reason. For example, not so long ago, a middle-aged man suffering a sickle cell crisis decided it would be wise to go to the hospital this time. You see, normally he would wait it out at home, laying up on a couch or in bed for 2 to 3 days, fighting the pain with fluids, rest, and analgesic medication, and a day or 2 more for recovery. You see, the older one gets, the longer it takes to recover from a painful sickle cell episode. This time, though, the pain was sufficiently severe that he felt it prudent to spare his body the ravages of perhaps another 2 to 3 additional days of pain and suffering, and another 1 to 2 days of recovery by trying to manage this on his own at home. So